Stephen Petty, fresh back from the Gold Coast, where Bermuda won the bid to host the World Triathlon Grand Final in 2021.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Exciting news, obviously, because we've already showcased ourselves in a World Triathlon series. We have 2 more of those to go. Will take us to 2020, and then the Grand Final. Take us through that bid process that got us over that hurdle.
Okay, there was a lot of preparation that went into the bid document. I must say, very impressed by the Tourism Authority's ability to put everything together. I attended along with Pat Philip Farron from Tourism, who is the Chief Development Office and Events Officer from Tourism. We made the presentation to the whole ITU board in Gold Coast, and no real questions. A few things like they were keen to know that we would have a pontoon. I think the swim start this past year was a bit too high out of the water. Things like, can you assure us you'll have a helicopter? All of those things are manageable. We were up against Abu Dhabi and also an unconfirmed bid from Montreal. But as I said, a very well put together bid presentation. We presented over the course of sort of an hour with some questions, but really happy to report that we were successful.
Do you think the event in April of this year helped twist that in our favor?
I think so. It just was very timely that most of the ITU board of directors were here in Bermuda having their semi-annual Congress. They were able to see Bermuda, see the event site. A number of them participated in the age group race. Nothing but good reports. They really loved Bermuda. The course they really liked, and of course the fan fever, the local fan fever. And I think the way that all the different entities in Bermuda got along and put the event on. So, as I said, it really wasn't a major issue.
Right. Their questions were for the Grand Final, or were they for the next 2 World Series as well? The as you said, the pontoon, the helicopter. So can we expect to see that?
A helicopter they're looking for 2021.
Okay.
The pontoon definitely for this year coming. But in the overall report from this past year by the technical delegate, the critique of the event, there was very little that they had any reason to be worried for. Obviously, we're talking about a lot more athletes in 2021, upwards to 3,000 age groupers, plus the accompanying spouses or significant others. But I think tourism is well onto that. They're working with not actually contracting a cruise line to come and berth, but a triathlon cruise that would leave from New York and would come into Hamilton and berth for the 4 days, and the athletes and their significant others would be right at the venue. So some interesting ideas. Obviously, it's going to take a bit of negotiating and whatnot to make that happen, but well on the way to securing that.
I ran a report a couple of weeks ago, just after it was announced that we won the bid, about we're short on people that behind the scenes working to make sure that the 2019 event comes off. Can you lay some of those fears of not having a full complement, especially not having Philip replaced as of yet? Can you allay some of those fears?
Yeah, I can allay all of those fears. I think someone asked me that the other day, and I said I think we're at least 5 months ahead of where we were at this time last year. We've already had a visit from Absolute from Germany. They are sort of our event partners who have put on many WTS races. They came in late August. We've met with all the various stakeholders, the Corporation of Hamilton, Transport, Police. Everybody is on board. There will be one or two sort of minor tweaks with the age group course where we saw some dangerous points last year. But as I said, everybody is on board. We do have a venue manager in place locally. We are working on Philip's replacement, and that person has tons of experience, is in Bermuda. So I think we've got all the bases covered, and I think you'll find that it'll be even better this year.
The Bermuda Triathlon Association has grown in leaps and bounds over the last few years. Getting these events, have you seen that interest even increase the numbers more?
Yes, in particular since the since the WTS event in April, we've had junior clinics throughout the year on Sundays, and sponsored by Tokyo Millennium, and those numbers have really grown because the kids participated. If you remember, on the Friday night before the main event, we had 220 kids, which is a record. Iron Kids this year in June had a record number of participants. I mean, we're seeing Tyler Smith and Erica Hawley are now competing just about on the same stage as Flora Duffy. We've had Tyler Butterfield before, but all of them saw these big events and were exposed to these events back in the late 90s, and I think that had a lasting effect on our legacy. Also this year, in preparation for the WTS, we had to train more technical officials. We had one qualified technical official, level 2. We now have 16. So just some of those, necessity is the mother of invention, but obviously the legacy is there.
Along with winning the bid for the grand final in 2021 comes along the not the Paralympic, but the para event for triathlon as well, which has grown in abundance of numbers. What can locals expect when these athletes take to the course? Well,
it was really an amazing event to see in Gold Coast. There will be in the grand final a slotted time for the para athletes, and they are treated almost like the elites. But I think there were 100 athletes in total, all different disabilities. But it's incredible to see a person with only one arm swim, cycle, and run almost as fast as the best age groupers in the world, or somebody with a prosthesis, one leg, running almost as fast. And so they will participate on one of the days before the elite finals, and we will see probably, I'm thinking, close to 100 of these athletes. It will also hopefully help Bermuda move ahead with their disability abilities when it comes to transport, just access in Hamilton and various other establishments. I think we're a bit behind in that, but for the physically challenged, this would be a great legacy to leave and to put Bermuda, on the map.
After the 20, obviously, you're the president of the Bermuda Triathlon Association, but how much talk around the boardroom table is to grow beyond this? I mean, we will have hosted 3 World Series events. We would have hosted a grand final. These things don't come easy, they don't come cheap. But to ensure that we stay vibrant on the international circuit, has there been any other talk, or we're focused on these?
I think, and it's early days yet, but the board did mention, would Bermuda be interested in continuing the WTS, the series, going forward in 2022 and on? I think they like to find spectacular venues, and they feel they found one in Bermuda. Just like Montreal is a permanent stop, Abu Dhabi, right. They each have their own characteristics that are well-run events, and I think they see the same thing for Bermuda. So that's down to negotiations somewhere down the line, but the offer is certainly there.
Okay. So we're all set for the next 4 years, 3 to come.
Yeah.
But as the president, when you came back on board as the president, you guys set your sights on growing the sport even bigger and better. Did you envision what we were about to encounter?
Well,
what we have encountered thus far?
Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago that a group went over to Madrid to present for this grand final. Didn't get it for 2020, but they got 3 WTS events.
Yeah.
At that time, I was probably a skeptic and said, I'm not sure that we can do this. But I think one of the real helps was the America's Cup, to let people know. We did that for 5-6 weeks. That event took place.
Right.
And it shows that Bermudians really know how to put on a decent event. So when the idea to go for the grand final, again, a number of us in the Triathlon Association were a bit timid. But I think the more discussions we had with tourism and unearthed a lot of these misconceptions, I think we've got the full support of tourism, full support of government. So I don't see it being an issue like I thought maybe 2 years ago.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time. Congratulations. Job well done, and we look forward to 2019. Well, we've got to get through 2018 because we got some events coming up very shortly, don't we?
Yeah, we have the Tokyo event next weekend. We have a group going to Carifta Games in Trinidad and Tobago on the same weekend, and then the Aon event, which is at the end of October.
Right. Well, we look forward to those athletes. I'm actually doing bios on those athletes. Today was day 2 of 3 athletes, so we'll let everyone know how they're making out, or the potential of them making out, and then the 28th and 29th of September they'll be in action. So
thank you very much.
you. Okay.